Okay, so we'll just show you how to make an NMR up on this demonstration video. So what you should do is go to the balance area and weigh out an appropriate amount of sample. This is an organic molecular, very coloured conjugated system. So this student has weighed 5 milligrams out, so we recommend that maybe about a 5 milligram sample mass for protein NMR, and if you're doing a carbon NMR up to 15-20 mg. Of course you can run with smaller amounts than 5 mg with both proton, carbon, any other atom type that you're wishing to measure, but that would need to be left in the magnet for longer. So on this practical video we'll just show you how to make a solution of it. So we presume we have something that's sparingly soluble in an organic solvent. So we'll show you how to make this up and filter it into the NMR tube. Of course this might not be a solid, it could be an oil. So an oil should be more soluble in an organic solvent than a solid, but you should still follow the same step I'm going to show you. So you weigh out your sample. What you will then need is a bottle of solvent, deuterated solvent. So this is deuterated chloroform, and I've got a nice fresh clean pipette. So in my area of the bench I've got it kind of stuck towards the side of the bottle with a small test tube. So bottle of NMR solvent, we do not need to contaminate that, so we need to keep that pure at all points in this procedure. So you'll need a pipette with a filler on, a bulb, and a fresh pipette as well. And because you need sometimes to filter the insoluble particles out, you should take a touch of cotton wool and roll the cotton wool up into a ball or a bud, put it to the top of the pipette, and pack down and thread down with your other pasta pipette. You will need then a clean NMR tube. So this NMR tube will come with a cap on, so you should judge the NMR tube to be clean. So it obviously shows signs of impurities on the inside or outside. That will need to be washed with acetone and then put into an oven to be dried. So to take the cap off, you literally pull with a twist, because if you yank and jab around the top of the NMR tube, you can of course crack the top of the tube. That can cause damage to the magnet once it's introduced to the NMR. So we've got, I'll just hold my glove, we've got a nice cap, a neck towards the top of the NMR tube as we stand. So I'm right-handed. What am I going to do? I'm going to first of all take the vial with the sample in and put in a quantity of solvent. So I judge that to be around about 1/2 ml. So I take about 1/2 ml of deuterated chloroform, and then I carefully introduce it into the sample vial, making sure I don't contaminate the edge of the pipette with any organic sample in here, so I don't kind of dab it inside. I'll take the other pipette and then give it a mix, maybe wash down any sample on the neck of the inside of the tube. So I'm kind of seeing that's mixed, that's dissolved, there's no solid particles in there, but if there were solid particles then we need to filter them out. So I think that's kind of dissolved, but what I will do is just to use a plug. So again, I'm right-handed, so what I need to do now is to hold the tube in my left hand and very gently thread down the top of the pipette. If I dropped it from a height, it might damage the neck of the NMR tube. So I just carefully let it rest. I put that there. With my 2 fingers, I put the vial next to the NMR tube, so now I've got good control and I'm only moving the solution a small distance. If I was to have it like this, I'm likely to spill. We'll take the solution, suck it up, and then using good coordination we'll place the pipette into the other pipette and we'll drizzle in, and it should start to drop down. We can increase that procedure by putting a teat over the top and squeezing it down to create a pressure. But now you'll notice with about a depth of about, I don't know, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6 millimetres, maybe I'm a bit out with my measurement, maybe about half a centimetre. So we want that depth of solvent in the NMR tube, maybe 2 to 3 centimetres depth. So good practice and form says we'll take another quantity of deuterated chloroform. We'll again rinse the inside of the sample vial. We will rinse the inside. We'll introduce again. And now we have near enough our appropriate amount of sample made up. So this glassware will go in the glass bins. And the final thing is to say, we put the cap on with a push and a twist. We don't push down too hard in case we break the neck of the tube, and of course we introduce glass breakages into our skin or we cut our skin. So that's the sample made up. Final thing to say is that some of the labs, maybe the undergraduate labs or upstairs, you should have maybe labels like this, or if not, you get a piece of paper and you maybe rip a touch of the paper off, make a little jacket to it towards the NMR tube, thread it inside, and then write in what the sample is and put it in the appropriate holder. Sometimes you can write on this as a label, and then you'll take the label off and stick it at the top of the tube, like that. What we don't want to see is any labels like that stuck on the tube ready for service. If that's the case, we'd have to take the label off and wash all the outside of the tube with solvents. So I don't want to see that kind of label stuck onto the tube. If you want to put a label onto the tube, make sure it's at the top near the cap, and write on the white part of the label what it is in a pen, or maybe just use a piece of filter paper or paper. Don't take labels and stick them onto the tube at any point. Okay, so you'll now see another video to follow this of actually how to use the NMR machine as well. Okay, so that concludes